We are back! Transformers Combaticons is ready for the next step of the process. Casting. If you're interested in auditioning, please watch the whole video just to make sure you don't miss anything. Not everyone watching this might be familiar with Transformers Combaticons, so let me explain what it is one more time just so everybody's on the same page. Myself and a small team are producing one proof of concept pilot episode for a Transformers show called Transformers Combaticons, which follows Onslaught, Vortex, Brawl, Blastoff, and Swindle in their chaotic adventures across the galaxy, long after the Great War. It's completely fan-made, and the goal is to produce a Transformers cartoon in the style of a modern Disney cartoon. Simple, fun, and accessible to anyone, not just Transformers fans. In this particular episode, Onslaught's day is ruined when Vortex picks a fight with the most powerful cosmic threat in the universe. After months of work, a full animatic has been completed by myself and 6 other storyboard artists, as you can see on the screen here. We made the decision to abandon the strict 11-minute constraints since we're in the age of streaming, and the animatic currently runs at about 19 minutes, thus justifying the 1 month delay. Now, I'm ready to cast and animate. So, let's talk casting. I'm going to briefly describe the tone of the project, describe technical specifications for microphones, and talk about what happens if you're casted, and then give an overview of the characters that need to be brought to life. Tone. Transformers Combaticons is a comedy. Our goal is to make something fun, lighthearted, accessible, bringing Transformers back to the simplicity of the original 80s cartoon. The characters in Combaticons refer to themselves as Transformers, rather than Cybertronians. Most Transformers fan projects are like,
we have to get the Allspark to save the Matrix from destroying the Allspark with the Matrix. Megatron, my brother, Megatron, my brethren. Cybertron has died of Ligma among us.
Combaticons is quite the opposite. It's energetic, snappy, high energy with lots of yelling. There's no lore, or no self-indulgent drama. As I've said before, it's just simple. Technical specifications. Okay, listen up. It's really important to me that, if you audition, you have a decent microphone that you know how to use. I think iPhone audio probably won't work too well. It usually sounds very cheap and very silly. Be conscious of what kind of USB mic you use. Something like a Blue Snowball will always sound audibly cheaper than something like a Blue Yeti. I mentioned earlier that there's some yelling. You gotta know how to operate your input levels. Consider your vocal audition as an audition of your microphone and your ability to use a microphone. If you turn in a sample that sounds like this...
Donald Trump, I should have known it was you. Skipper, my son, I see you've discovered my master plan.
You probably won't play a character. Just to explain input right now, just to help out anyone who might not already know, input is how loudly your microphone reads your audio. Here is whispering at a medium input level. Here is yelling at a medium input level. It's scary and loud. So here's a sentence as I rapidly drag this back and forth between high and low input volume. I'm not changing the level that I'm speaking at, I'm only changing the input. So if I'm gonna yell, I gotta put it at a low input volume so it's not all gross and staticky. If I'm gonna whisper, I gotta move the input volume up so I can hear it. And you can access your input volume through your computer's settings. I currently have my social media DMs closed, so email me your vocal auditions at transformers.animated.season.4@gmail.com. I made that account when I was 16. I don't know how to change it. It's really kind of cringe, but like, I don't know, that's just what I got. Don't DM it to me, or else I'll just forget about it and lose it. You're welcome to audition for as many characters as you'd like, and you're welcome to send in multiple auditions for the same character if you have multiple ideas as to how that character might sound. Just make sure they're all labeled. maybe with your name on it as well. So if your name is Billy Bob, you submit them like Blastoff Audition 1, Billy Bob, Blastoff Audition 2, Billy Bob, Onslaught Audition 1. You got it, Billy Bob? Awesome. Normally, Transformers fan projects are voice acted on a completely voluntary basis. However, because every board artist was paid for their work, I'll try to give you something. Just name your rate when you send your files, and we'll see what I can do. If you're casted. If the number of people who've messaged me about voice acting before this casting video was any indicator, then I'm expecting a somewhat high volume of auditions, at least for a production of this scale. As such, I can't guarantee that I'll be able to get back to every single one of you. You'll likely send it, I might say like, cool, thank you, to confirm that I received it, and then you'll just kinda wait. I might get back to you a few weeks later. I might get back to you if I'm interested in going further, or you might not hear back if that's not the case. If you don't hear back, don't feel bad, don't beat yourself up. It doesn't reflect poorly on you. There's just a very limited number of characters that I'm casting, as you'll see. If you're casted, I'll get back to you either late February or early March. If I have a tough choice between a handful of reads for one character, I might ask you for some more reads of some more lines in other parts of the animatic that I'm not going to show off right now. And once I make a final decision, I'll message you again and be like, hey, cool, you're casted, here's the script, here's the animatic, feel free to read and / or watch it. And if you're casted as one of the 5 Combaticons, I'd like to schedule a recording session with you over Zoom. I think that getting 5 strangers to coordinate their schedules and record their lines together on one call is going to be logistically quite difficult, so it'll likely just be you and I on the call with each character recording separately. We'll go through the script, you record a few takes of each line, and send me the MP3s once you're done. If there are changes to the script and pickup recordings are needed, we probably won't need to do a Zoom call again. I can just let you know and then maybe you send me the files back without a call. But our script is pretty locked, so I'm not expecting any wacky like last minute, oh, re-record everything moments, unless you send me audio files where the mic settings were wrong and the audio sounds distorted. Then I probably would ask for re-recorded lines. As the characters exist in my brain, Onslaught, Blastoff, Brawl, and Swindle are boys, and Vortex is a girl. However, I am going to open the floor for anyone of any gender to audition for any character. Because really, when it comes down to it, there's no reason that these characters have to be boys. It's not like we're gonna be exploring gender dynamics in Transformers Combaticons and like the genders have to be consistent for the themes to work or whatever. We're not getting wacky like that. If a girl has the best audition for Onslaught, Onslaught could be a girl. So, alright, without further ado, let's dive in and explore the Combaticons. Onslaught. Onslaught is aggressive and high-strung, desperately trying to maintain order on his ship despite the chaotic antics of his crewmates that surround him at all times.
I merely want one cycle without chaos! Is that too much to ask? I said no!
A former Decepticon commander during the Great War, he's bossy, has a short temper, and views himself as vastly superior to everyone around him.
I will kill you all!
Takes very little to set him off. However, at the end of the day, he's able to realize when he's been a jerk and make amends when necessary.
I fail. And yet, despite it all, I am still the most important and valuable one here.
A voice I've imagined for Onslaught is something like Garazub Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, voiced by Steve Blum. Gruff, sharp, and aggressive.
Kid, you wake me, you die. Don't care. I'm crushing your bones. How could it? You remind me every 23 seconds. You know, oh, this isn't some place. It's my place. So get out.
It could be cool for him to be British, harkening back to his Generation 1 incarnation.
Combaticons, transform!
His Fall of Cybertron incarnation could also work as a good basis for the voice.
Swindle, you should be able to reach the anti-air cannons from the catwalks along the outside of the
There's two of them, genius! Head around the back to hit the other one!
Just to clarify, I am not asking for any impression. I'm looking for 5 character voices basically created from the ground up. I'm just giving you some jumping off points. An adult with a grounded and commanding voice. And a voice that you can yell in naturally. Here are those lines. Feel free to audition with these, as well as any Onslaught lines you see later in this video. And also just talk in the character's voice. Just improv a conversation to show that it comes fluently to you, and you can talk with it beyond these selected lines. Vortex has branded herself as the galaxy's greatest assassin. Whether this is true or not is up for debate. To my whim! Come at me! Oh no, never mind. The main captain of the ship, she is a bit unhinged. I said no! I didn't care! This fleet defends the most powerful being in the universe! Why engage it? Because I can? Deep down, she wants to be important. She wants to be the best at everything in the room and is somewhat insecure about her shortcomings. I don't control anything. I'm not the best warrior galaxy. I'm not even the best me in the multiverse. I think that her personality could be somewhat similar to IDW Whirl, specifically from Where They Meets the Eye. I believe one of the board artists pointed out that Vortex is very similar to Invader Zim in personality.
Nonsense! I had much to do! So much!
I have not personally seen Invader Zim, but from the clips I've looked up, yeah, I think that could work as a springboard for this character. Blastoff. Blastoff is probably the only one on the team that's actually a good person. Definitely more Autobot than Decepticon. He's naive, and he fails to fully recognize that he's on a ship with 4 terrorists. Onslaught, I promise! This will be a normal day from here on out! He's easily stressed and frustrated. Outside turrets! Why did you fire inside? Why were there inside turrets? He's kind of like Elmo in the sense that he's nice and optimistic on the surface, but it takes very little to turn him into a salt mine that'll rupture at any moment.
Wait, where are you going? Alaska! It's faster if you drive. Ah!
I'll do this myself! Why'd I do that? Voice-wise, something Morty-ish could work, but we're gonna cap it at Morty-ish. He should not sound as pathetic as Morty. Don't send a Morty impression. Phineas Flynn or Milo Murphy both have decent bases for Blastoff's voice. Just endearing, youthful, with the occasional annoyed edge. I low-key want to voice Blastoff, so I will be auditioning, but don't let that stop you. Swindle. We all know Swindle. Swindle is a shameless arms dealer, a used car salesman, who will eagerly scam, cheat, and swindle his way to profit. This sounds like the beginning of a skirmish. Might I interest you two in my fine selection of munitions? Perhaps a pair of novelty glass gas guns from Garrus 9.
Swindle.
Swindle here is definitely an older gentleman. Maybe he's someone who used to be the leading weapon distributor during the height of the Great War, but burnt through all his profits and now is just desperate to make any sale, no matter how shameless it is. Your pitches, your negotiations are useless to us. They have never helped us, and they never will. I'll take that bet, and if I do prove useful, you will buy my entire stock. I was not betting! That's your opinion. In my head, there's a fantastic voice basis for Swindle. That of Phil Lewis, and his portrayal of Mr. Mosby in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Miss Martin would be happy to oblige such an important guest who brings so much business to the Tipton Hotel. Accommodations provided by the Tipton Hotel, where everyone is treated like royalty. For reservations, call 1-800. Thank you. Ah! They call this a deluxe hotel? I asked for a 7 a.m. wake-up call. You know what time they called me? 7:03! Relax and stay calm. Wonderful.
I'll handle the jokes.
What do you mean? That didn't tickle your funny bone?
Seriously, you're annoying me.
Okay. That is a letter opener for very large letters.
This is the absolute perfect energy to capture for the Combaticons version of Swindle. It could also be fun to take his voice back in a G1-ish direction. Maybe we should avoid Fred Willard impressions, though. I'm generally not a huge fan of impressions, as I've said before, and since this isn't TFA, I think there's no reason to try to sound like this version of the character, especially in the wake of the actor's passing a couple years ago. Brawl. Brawl is completely indifferent to anything that's happening whatsoever. Remember this scene from Transformers Prime?
Optimus, you want to see something funny?
No.
That's Brawl. During high-stakes space battles, he'll just sit down to watch TV. He'll constantly punctuate dialogue exchanges with disinterested and disconnected comments. We're all gonna die. Death is a part of life. Yeah, the last part! However, there is one thing he's passionate about, and you don't want to get him started on it. Yes, and it shouldn't have been! It shouldn't have been! Voice-wise, I am once more looking for something deep and grounded. Kevin Michael Richardson comes to mind, specifically his take on Bulkhead in Transformers Prime. I've thought for a while it'd be cool to give Brawl some sort of accent. Australian or New Zealand-ish. But only do those accents if you're like actually of those descents. I don't want it to be like the Star Wars Bad Batch episodes where like 6 Americans voice French people for 2 hours. I lost my mind. So no Americans doing weird accents. Just only do an accent depiction of Brawl if you have that accent. And anyone would be welcome to do any accent for any of these characters if they just naturally have that accent. There's no reason to just lock them all to being American. I'd also like to cast 3 little itty-bitty roles here that each have like 1 or 2 lines. The first is TBA female villain. I don't want to spoil who it is because the role is insanely small. Basically, at the very end of the episode, a naughty villain shows up to be like, oh haha, I'll catch those Combaticons, they're playing into my trap. Yeah, it's played straight, not for laughs. I'm looking for an adult woman with an intimidating voice. Again, there's only like 2 lines, and I don't want to just show what they are. So I'll just give you a placeholder line here. Yeah, there. So, I mean, if you're interested in playing this character, just say that, or say ominous villain lines. A Japanese accent, in particular, I think would be cool for this character, if there are any adult Japanese women watching the Key and Carlisle Transformers channel. Secondly, an impression of David Kaye. Just his regular speaking voice. Like, just improv talk in the David Kaye voice, and that's all. I will not give you any further context. And finally, we have a musical role. We're looking for someone who can sing exactly like the singer of the Transformers animated theme song. I don't know the artist's name. I know Andy Sturmer composed this. I have no idea if he's the vocalist. But yeah, just had to audition, just sing this. I've attached an MP3 of the instrumental in the description. If you want to send it back edited with this, that's fine. I don't know how a music audition process usually works. I don't have a musical bone in my body, but you will not be singing anything longer than what's in front of you in the final product, so it should be quite quick and painless. And that's all. Currently, just 8 roles we're looking to fill, even though really only 5 of them are actual roles. In the interest of keeping the big, previously mentioned cosmic threat a secret, I've got someone lined up to voice the character on my end. Rest assured, they are not a part of the ordinary rinky-dink voice acting squadron that I typically rely on. We'll cast this, and then get the ball rolling on animation soon. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. Good luck, everyone!